Great. Today we're going to be reading PotterWookie Chapter 5, and this chapter is called Taking Sides. So let's see what happens in this chapter. I stepped back farther, holding Harry tightly. There was no way they were going to put him in the flinger. I was going to demand that everyone leave my room, but before I could make the demand, Jack lunged for Harry. As I moved to avoid Jack, Teddy yanked Harry from my hands. Teddy then leapt out my window with everyone squeezing out right after him. I charged at my friends. I ran across the street and over to the rock islands, where they were all gathering around the flinger. Jack was on top of the jumping rock, Teddy was putting Harry in the launch bowl, and Aaron had climbed up one of the crooked palm trees to get a better view. So that's all of them fighting to get out of the window to go head to the flinger. So I wonder what's going to happen. I didn't want to sound like a baby begging for his stuffed animal. Still, I had to help Harry. Give him back! Nope, he's going on a little trip. So, you see they're arguing. I was about to shove Teddy out of the way when a car pulled up in front of Janae's house. I know that a car pulling up in front of a house really isn't that big of a deal, but it was Janae's house. And Janae was in the car. The woman who was driving stopped, and Janae and two of her friends got out. I quit arguing with Teddy, and I tried to look cool. The girls spotted us and started walking in our direction. They were wearing tennis outfits and carrying rackets. I tried to be smooth and make a joke. What's with all the racket? Ha 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 ha. Janae smiled while her friends laughed. I felt like an idiot. I wanted to get on the flinger and have somebody fling me away. Teddy made me feel even dumber by filling them in on what was happening. We're gonna fling Rob's stuffed animal. Uh-oh. For some reason, Janae and her friends thought that was funny too. Trevor tried to stick up for me, but it didn't help. Rob's stuffed animal are very important to him. I was so embarrassed that my brain completely clocked out. I couldn't think of a single thing to say to defend myself, so I just stood there silently. Fortunately, Janae began talking. Unfortunately, while talking, she informed us that she and her friends were going to be trying out for average chef. I had to say something, so my brain reluctantly clocked back in. With my brain working again, I could feel words coming up my throat and pushing to get out of my mouth. I opened my mouth and blurted out, "You can't try out for average chef because I'm trying out, and I'm most likely going to win, so it would probably just be a big waste of your time." Yeesh. Janae looked a little stunned. She stood there staring at me as if I had something terrible. One of her friends pushed her aside and stepped closer to let us know how things would be. Janae is too trying out, and you won't win because we're going to be on her team. Oh yeah, well we're going to be on Rob's team. So now it's like a battle between the boys and the girls. It was nice of Trevor to step up, but none of my friends knew how to cook. I did need help for the tryouts. It just didn't seem like they would want to participate in a cooking contest. I asked them if they were serious about helping me. Will we get to be on TV? I told them probably, and just like that, they were all in. Jack started talking about how famous he was going to be as Janae stepped closer. I thought she was going to whisper something encouraging, but instead she said, "You won't win, Rob." "Yes, we will." "Well, good luck then." "Yeah, well, good luck to you too." Uh-oh, so now we got a little rivalry going on. I thought about pointing out to her how all great chefs were men, but then I remembered a bunch of women chefs who were great too. Duh, I thought. About telling her. I would back out if she promised to like me. Oh, wait, did I skip a page? No. Duh, I thought, about telling her I would back out if she promised to like me. Jack, however, ruined the mood by jumping off the rock and onto the flinger. He was tired of waiting to fling Harry. Jack came down hard on the end of the catapult and sent Harry skyrocketing straight into the air. I couldn't be sure, but it sounded like Harry was muttering something. C-3PO, no. Harry went flinging upward. I kept my eyes on him as he arched and then began to fall back down to earth. A breeze blew him to the right, and I had to run and then twist and dive to even make the catch. I rolled over on the rocks and dirt of the island and came to a stop, wrapping myself around the palm tree Aaron was clinging to. Rocks were flying everywhere. I managed to shield Harry so he wasn't harmed. Waving my right arm, I let the others know I was alive. So there he is, going to catch him, and there he is on the ground. Nobody seemed that relieved. I stood up, dusted myself off, and then stormed back to my house with my PotterWookie to pout in private. Everyone, including Janae, laughed as I walked away. It wasn't unusual for my friends to laugh at me, but Janae and her friends had no rights. I stomped into my house, put Harry on my beds, and then went right to the computer. I had something to prove, and I wanted to make sure I would get the chance to do it. There's nothing special about me either. Average chef. So it looks like he's going to try out for it. I signed up for Average Chef Online and then went to my room. I was irritated with my friends, and my head felt like it needed a distraction. As I set Harry down on my pillow, one of his fingers twitched and pointed towards the books on my bed. As he twitched, he mumbled something that sounded like hurry. He could have been saying Murray, but that didn't make any sense. I think he wanted me to hurry and read so that I could find a solution to his problem. I grabbed one of my books and dove in headfirst. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And that is the end of chapter 5. So please make sure you do your questions for PotterWookie, and I'll be back tomorrow with chapter 6. Bye!